Hi everyone, I'm Koryn Okey and welcome back to Breezeway Academy. At Breezeway Academy, you'll learn how to build stronger, more professional vacation rental operations. So whether you manage 10 homes or 1,000, this series is here to give you practical frameworks, proven systems, and real-world best practices that you can apply immediately. At Breezeway, we work with thousands of property managers around the world, and every day we get to see how high-performing operators structure their team, build their workflows, and deliver 5-star stays consistently. But we also see where operations break down. So in this series, Housekeeping Excellence, we're going to talk about what it actually takes to build and run a smooth, scalable housekeeping operation in your vacation rental business. So far, we've covered how to structure your cleaning team, how to find and retain great cleaners, and how to pay them fairly. But now we're going to talk about something that brings all of that together, and that's the different types of cleans that you will complete in each property and how to manage them effectively. Because one of the most common mistakes in vacation rental operations is treating every clean the same. When that happens, your quality suffers because not all cleans are created equal. A turnover clean between guest stays is very different than a deep clean, and both are very different than an onboarding clean that you complete when a new property enters your management portfolio. When these differences aren't clearly defined, a few things can start to happen. First, your cleaners won't know what's expected of them, and therefore they can't deliver or meet your expectations. Important tasks get skipped, and properties slowly decline in quality. Over time, this is going to show up in your guest reviews. It's going to show up in your owner satisfaction, your owner retention, and your maintenance costs. So clear clean types create clarity for your team, and they define expectations, they improve efficiency, and they protect consistency. So let's start with onboarding cleans. An onboarding clean happens when a property is first brought onto your program. This might be because of an ownership change or when a house returns to a rental market after time off. This is not a standard clean. This is your opportunity to bring the property up to your company standards and establish a baseline for everything that follows. During an onboarding clean, the team is going to fully reset the home. That's going to include a deep top to bottom clean, but it also goes beyond that. That's when you're going to identify any existing damage. It's when you're going to organize the owner items and you're going to make fixes to ensure that the property is fully set up for success. It's also when you document the condition of the home through notes and photos so you have a clear record moving forward. In fact, this is a great time to take reference photos that you can use for your team in the future so that when your cleaners are in the property, they can see a reference of how the property should look after each clean. Another key part of onboarding is inventory. This is when you're establishing what's in the home, what's missing, what needs to be purchased or restocked. This sets expectations not just for your team, but for the property owners as well. An onboarding clean isn't about speed. It's about being thorough and setting the standard. If you get this step right, every clean that follows becomes easier and more consistent. Next is your standard turnover clean. It's the most frequent and most time-sensitive type of clean in your operation. Turnover cleans happen between guest stays, and they're often performed within really tight time frames, especially during peak season or back-to-back bookings. The goal of a turnover clean is to really fully reset the property so that it's ready for the next guest, including a clean of all guest-facing areas, replacement of linens, restocking of essentials, removing trash, and checking for any visible issues or damage that may have occurred. Your turnover cleans require both speed and precision, and there's very little margin for error. Your checklist for a turnover clean should be clear, focused, and structured on the tasks that are directly impacting the guest experience. Your high-touch surfaces, your bathrooms, your kitchens, the way that the bed presentation happens, amenity restocking, and they should be visually checking for damage or any missing items. Turnover cleans is where your operation is most exposed, and if something is missed, it's likely the guest who's going to find it. That's why clarity and consistency are so important here. Now let's talk about deep cleans because these go far beyond your standard turnover clean. They focus on the areas that don't often get attention during every guest stay, including things like your baseboard, the vents, behind your furniture, inside of appliances, the cabinets, upholstery. Deep cleans are essential for maintaining the long-term quality of the property. Without them, even the most well-managed properties slowly start to show wear and tear over time. You might not notice it immediately, but your guests will. So deep cleans should be scheduled intentionally. That might mean that they're done seasonally after periods of high occupancy or before your peak booking window begins. They can also be triggered by inspection findings if the quality starts to decline. The key is that deep cleans are planned, they are not reactive. They're going to require more time, more detail, and different expectations than a standard turnover clean. Deep cleans protect your properties and your brand over time. Additionally, you may have mid-stay cleans. A mid-stay clean is going to happen at some point while the guest is still in-house. Sometimes this is an upsell opportunity that a guest pays for to have you come in the middle of their trip to service the home. Other times, this may just be part of your process. Let's say that you have a guest who's in-house for 30, 60 days. Maybe you want to go in at the mid-stay point to get eyes and ears in the property and sort of anticipate anything that may come up after that guest departs. Additionally, and something that we're seeing more frequently, are mini deep cleans. So this is when somebody is breaking down all of the components of a really thorough deep clean into smaller, more palatable bites. This is going to allow you to potentially lessen the amount of time that a property is out of service because you're doing these on multiple trips. And of course, we see a lot of folks who are doing pet cleans for properties that do welcome pets because there's a different level of cleanliness that has to be taken when you've had a pet in the property. Now that we've defined these different types of cleans, let's talk about how you schedule them. Each type of clean is really going to require a different approach. Your turnover cleans are typically pretty straightforward because they're tied to a reservation. These are automatically scheduled based off of check-in and check-out times, so there's really not an opportunity for anything to be missed. But your onboarding and deep cleans are going to be scheduled with more intention. This is the same for your mini deep cleans and or mid-stay cleans. Pet cleans are probably going to follow the similar frequency of your turnover cleans because they're tied to folks who have pets as part of their reservation. But for those cleans that are not driven by reservations, it really needs to mean that you're setting aside dedicated time, assigning the right team, and ensuring that the scope of work is clearly defined. Each clean type should have its own scope, its own checklist, and its own time allocation. And this is where having the right systems is paramount. With Breezeway, you can create and assign different types of tasks for each clean. For example, as I said, your turnover cleans or your pet cleanings should be scheduled automatically based off of reservations that are synced from your PMS. Your onboarding and deep cleans are going to be scheduled independently based on your operational needs and availability. Each task should have its own checklist so that the cleaner knows exactly what's expected depending on the type of clean that they're going to be performing. Plus, your managers can then see in real time the progress and the work that is happening at each property, which removes the guesswork for your team. They don't have to wonder what type of clean they're going to be doing when they get there or what should be done as part of their task. The system will tell them, and that clarity is going to lead to better execution. Before we wrap up, let's look at a few common mistakes folks can make. The first is treating your onboarding cleans like a standard turnover. Your onboarding cleans are meant to fully reset the property and establish your standards from day one. When they're rushed or treated like a quick turnover, important details are going to be missed, existing issues might go undocumented, and you lose the opportunity to set that strong baseline for all future work. The second is using the same type of checklist for each clean that's completed. When your cleaners just have one generic checklist, they either try to do too much during a turnover clean, or they miss important details of a deep clean entirely. Another is not adjusting the time or pay based on the scope of work. Each clean is going to require a different level of effort, detail, and attention, and therefore the pay needs to be reflective of that. When your expectations don't match reality, both the quality and the team morale will suffer. And if everything is treated like a turnover clean, well, then your quality is always going to suffer. The different types of work require different expectations. They require different timelines and different systems to support them. Understanding the different types of vacation rental cleans is a key step in building a strong foundation to your housekeeping operations because each clean has a specific purpose. Your onboarding cleans set the standard, your turnover cleans protect the guest experience, and your deep cleans protect the long-term quality of the property and your relationship with the owner. And when these are all clearly defined and properly scheduled, your operation is so much more predictable. It's more efficient, and you have more consistency that you're delivering. In the next video, we're going to take this one step further and talk about how to create cleaning checklists that actually support your team and ensure that those standards are followed every time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of Breezeway Academy.